Welcome, everybody, from friends and family from near and far. My name is Jake Wild, alongside my co-host,
Alex Dempsey, and today we have two fantastic guests.
Yes.
Probably the longest ongoing relationship in Bioreal's history over here. 4 years.
It is a long
4 years.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Wow, that's a long time.
for you
Props
guys.
to you guys. Yeah. Congrats.
This is like a little mentor squad.
I know
Yes.
this is. Look at this.
So, what we've been doing in most of these is we kind of just ask people to start off. How have you been doing, like, during this crazy time, and like how have you
Yeah.
been keeping yourself busy?
Yeah, I know for me at least, I've probably been sleeping like 12 hours a day,
Right.
and then a lot of video games, and then definitely trying to keep myself busy as much as possible. And actually, my sleep schedule's been pretty messed up recently. I'm like, I don't know, I've been going to bed at like 4 a.m, waking up at like 2 in the afternoon, whatever
Yeah,
it is.
I think we can all relate to that.
Yeah, what are you doing, Jay?
I see you like every other day, so that's I guess like
That's good.
It's nuts.
the majority. But I've been on like a movie binge, so I have like an ongoing list of movies that I've watched. I watched The Shawshank Redemption, amazing movie.
Yes, it's a good
I need to
movie.
watch that. Jake saw it
You've been-
like a few weeks ago.
I-
I have not seen it. No.
So, Jamie, I was doing the same thing because I was always told that there was a bunch of like classic movies that I hadn't seen.
Yeah.
So I had my
Yeah, I recently watched The Godfather. I'm not sure if you guys have seen
Yeah.
I've seen The
it.
Godfather.
Like,
That's
it's a,
good.
like classic.
Yeah.
I have
It's
my
long
parents
though.
make me a list. of
Yeah,
just
it's
fun
crazy
movies.
long. It's like Avenger Endgame long.
Yeah, like it's 3 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
If it's a classic, I feel like everyone needs to see that movie.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
I tried watching Schindler's List,
It's
and
bad.
I was
not
like
seen
an
that.
hour and a half in. I was like, no.
Really?
Yeah.
Jake and I
Yeah,
almost
just-
watched it last year in A Push, and then
Oh, yeah,
Jake
you
and I
did.
voted for it, and then it didn't win. So
It would have been. It's a tough one to get through.
yeah, I'm sure it is.
Speaking of APs, you guys ready for your online AP exams?
No,
fun.
I don't want to. You know what? I will say
I'm
it's,
pretty excited. Only 2 questions, 45 minutes. I can't complain.
It'll be
That's-
fun.
That's fair. I'm kind of a little bit grateful for it because I have 5 AP exams, so.
Oh my God.
It would have been so crazy if I had to sit through like 5 3-hour exams, but now
Yes.
it's like 5 45-minute exams, so it's a
It's
little
joke.
better, I would say, I think, than having to
Yeah.
sit through.
It's also, I like it. It's open notes. You can have
Yeah,
your
right.
textbook, 45 minutes, just
Yeah.
copy and paste whatever you need. No. But, yeah, no, it's like pretty cool how they're doing it, though. It's just like write in a Google Doc, whatever you have at the end of the time slot, copy and paste it, and hit submit. I don't know. I like it.
Nice. I agree. I think it's good.
I literally have like an hour and a half for 2 questions because of extra time.
Nice.
Oh, really?
And, like-
That's nice.
Yeah, except like, what am I gonna do? Like, with an hour and a half?
You
I don't think
have
you
to
need-
hold on during it.
It's like pretty
Yeah,
easy because you
yeah.
could just like walk away and like, when
Yeah,
you're
that's
done,
true.
just go on your
Make some
phone.
food. Yeah,
Yeah, you
100%.
you don't have to like be there. So I
Yeah.
think
Yeah,
it's
I'll, like-
good.
Yeah, I'll figure something. I only have one, I'm not advanced like all of
Nice.
you, so I'm a one.
Have you guys found that like routine helps a lot during this time? Like, have you gotten into some sort of routine during your days?
Yeah, me personally, I know I have some friends at least where their parents are like, "Oh, you're getting up at 8, you're doing this
Yep.
from 9 to
Yeah.
10, you're doing." Definitely not my household, and
Yeah.
like definitely not me. It's just like do what you want. I don't know. I'm on my phone. I'm talking to people. I'm on calls. I'm working on new like apps and websites, whatever it is. But I don't know.
What
Definitely no
time-
schedule here.
Tell them what time you went to bed.
Yeah, I went to bed at 7 a.m.
I've done it a few
Morning.
times.
That's a move.
And I woke up at like 2. It was I don't know. My sleep schedule is pretty messed up right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it.
So what have
What
you
about
been
you,
working
Jen?
on?
Oh, me. I've been working on one's interesting. It's these kids from Horace Greeley reached out to me. They wanted a website for on a lot of online summer camp or a lot of summer camps have been canceled.
Yeah.
So they wanted to make an online version of a summer camp where it's like, okay, once a day at this time for an hour, we'll host an online summer camp for teaching you how to code, teaching you basketball skills, soccer skills, TikTok dances, whatever it is.
That's
And
cool.
I don't know, it's pretty cool. So I helped them. I like launched a website with them, and yeah, keeping busy.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
I don't keep a routine either. Like, I don't know. I'm not like you where I go to bed at crazy hours. I actually still go to bed at the same times I pretty much did when we had school. Like, I go to bed at like 11 something.
It's nice.
That's
She's a
impressive.
little
I
more normal.
couldn't do that.
I don't know. I like going to bed at that time because then I get up and
Right.
I'm like sort of ready for the day. Like, I don't get up past 11.
Yeah, I know it's weird now. He's like, when I go to bed, sometimes it's like light out. I hear the birds chirping. I'm like, what is going on? And then like I'll wake up and it's dark out. I swear, it's like 2 p.m., 3 p.m., and it's like, oh my goodness, my whole day went by. But
You were always like that though, Malter. Like,
yeah,
I remember
I haven't been too good anytime.
you used to
Well,
do
you were
you used to like, didn't you used to go to bed? What would you do? Didn't you used to go to bed? Yeah.
Yeah, so I know for at least, you might be referring to this, for homework at least, what I would do is,
Wake up at 5 a.m.
yeah, so if I have a ton of homework, I'm like, yo, there's no way I'm going to be doing this the night before. I want to play video games. I'll go to bed like an hour or so early. I'll wake up at like 4 a.m. and just knock it all out. I'm laser focused. No one's texting me. No one's
That's
up
true.
at 4 a.m. And then I'll just knock it out. I know other people that are the opposite. They're like, they're prime focus like at night.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
I think he means I wasn't texting him because I don't. I'm not
Yeah,
up
I'd have to
at
check
4
my
a.m.
phone, you know.
Yeah.
I find that it works. It's so hard to get out of bed at 4 a.m. No matter
Yeah.
when you feel like
It really is.
Yeah,
go to
no,
bed.
it's true. It's true. But,
so
you know.
tough. It's good.
I mean, I can't complain right now though with the grading system. It's
Right.
like I think the school did a really good job. It's 2 options. You know, if
Yep.
you like your grade, they'll do a super quarter and it's 33%. And if you don't and you're passing and at least you have a D, you can then do pass or fail, and it's just the first 2 quarters are 50%. So I don't know. I'm loving it. Yeah.
How much weight does the super quarter end up having? Is it just like
Only 33%. So like, let's say we never finished third quarter, but let's say you had an 80%. And then with all your e-learning assignments and whatever else, your teacher gives you a third quarter grade. And then they just calculate your final based off that. That's option 1. That's like the default. However, for your third quarter, you also have the option if you want to just do pass or fail. So let's say you just didn't do a lot of work during e-learning and you get like a C, you can just say, no, I'm going to do pass or fail. And that just voids the whole quarter. So it's kind of nice.
Totally.
Yeah, I think that's good.
They gave an option because I think that a lot of people are struggling right now with feeling like they don't have control over anything.
Yeah, no, it's true. I know just like an AP stat, like I didn't do well in like the first quiz or the first like test of the quarter. And it's like I didn't have an opportunity to increase my grade just because we don't do tests very frequently compared to other classes. So now this gave me the ability with e-learning, I can just probably do a pass or fail, so it won't really affect my final grade.
Yep.
That's good. That works out well.
Yeah, definitely.
Wait, I have to know, Jake, what did you win for Hug? Like the superlative?
I want to most likely to be on Broadway / most likely to be famous on YouTube.
I love it.
Him, you, Isabella, and Grace all won that. Like everyone, like in the plays.
Really?
I didn't get that one, so.
Well, you know what? You're going to be president, so it's okay.
I'm not going to lie, though. This might be a throwback, but like that play, I went to the last, that was like the only play I've ever went to really at the school. Guys and Dolls. It was really good. Like, I'm kind of sad that I didn't go to the other ones, but like, I don't know. I went to it and I was like, damn, like these are pretty good.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
I liked it. Peter and the Storm character was so good.
It was a good show.
I like that.
You don't even realize how much like work you guys go through, especially for kids that leave like right after school. It's like I don't know, some kids are in like tech club and they're like, yeah, like with theater, it's like every day, like you're spending hours just going through lines, working on like the little thing. It's crazy. Right. So it's a big commitment.
You know, that's one thing that I think is good about Byram Hills is that like we all have our things that we're like committed to, and like. And it's like, whether it be a club or like Malter with soccer, it's like you have something that you're committed to. And I think people respect each other's commitments, whatever it may be, because they all have these things that take up a lot of their time.
I always find it funny though, when I'll be speaking to somebody like at like a meeting for like a community service event. And they're like, oh yeah, like, how prevalent is like bullying or like people being mean at your school? I feel like to a degree, like, of course, like let's not like lie and say like there's nothing ever. But like, I don't know. It's like you want to do like you want to be in like fine arts, or you want to do in the play. Like, great,
there's
like
no
have fun.
judgment. Yeah,
it's like props to you. I don't know. I don't see a lot of judgment. It's
Yeah.
like I'm in tech club. I also play varsity soccer, and it's like no one gives me any crap. Or it's like I don't know. I never have a problem with that. But also, I don't know. That's just my perception of this.
Yeah, I mean, from what I think I've observed over the past 4 years, I think most of the bullying that happens is all friend group drama. I think really more than anything.
Yeah, I know. I would agree with that. It's definitely, I don't know. I feel like we don't see the conventional type of bullying, especially now it's shifting more towards like cyberbullying or whatever it is. If there is any, or someone's making a mean comment on your Instagram. I don't know. In general, though, I don't like freshmen aren't getting thrown against lockers. Like, give me your lunch money. Like, that's not a thing.
No.
Yeah, but also you guys are all boys, so the drama with you guys is a little different. Because like you got girl drama, and you're on like if you like someone's crush, like you're done. Like you're out of the Snap group.
Yeah.
Dang.
The prom dress group. I know.
All right. That's.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I'm ready for virtual prom. I'm like, I'm thinking everyone's gonna do a big Zoom party for the prom. I'm excited.
It will be in person.
Jamie's making sure we take pictures.
Yeah, like if prom doesn't happen, I'm still gonna get in my dress. He's gonna get in his suit and his Crocs, and we're gonna take photos.
Yeah, I'm wearing my orange Crocs to prom. They're coming.
I appreciate that so much. Oh my god.
Of course, come on.
I think back to Zach's point before about how about like Byram and like the bullying scene. I guess I think it's a very good point what you said about kind of how it's like you can really do whatever, and I think that it's kind of just. I think the way I was thinking about it was because I think everybody respects people at Byram that just fully commit to something, like whether it be soccer, whether it be theater. Like just like
I'm also just excited though, like just even for the next step, like you want to go to college and it's like you want to do clubs and you want to do stuff like that, and it's like do you, like you do you, like I don't know. I always go back to the point, like Mr. Andriello, I just remember he's like a phenomenal teacher, and he always makes this point. I thought it was like pretty important and had a like big impact on me and my perspective. But he was like, you have one opportunity in your life to completely like reinvent yourself, like change you, whoever you want, right? And that's like college. So he's like, take that opportunity because not everybody has that. And I think we're fortunate that many of us are able to go to college. And it's like you have the opportunity to completely change like how other people perceive you.
Totally. So I would ask you guys, is there anything that you want to reinvent about yourself in college?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
That is a good question. I don't know. I'm like pretty happy with like how, well, at least how I perceive other people think of me, and and I don't know. I'm happy with myself right now, but
I think with us it's interesting only because like I don't know, like I'm gonna like go into college and no one's gonna know like me with you, so I'm gonna be like my own person, kind of like I won't be like Zach Malter's girlfriend.
Yeah, I mean that would be a change. Like like every time I'll meet like a girl, I'll just be like, "Hey, how are you? My girlfriend's name is Jamie Weiss." Like, I don't know. It would be a change, but it's not a small town. It's not Armonk where there's only 200 kids in your grade and everybody knows everybody. It would be a change.
And Dempsey's gonna be. Wait, where's Colgate?
It's in Hamilton, New York. It is middle of nowhere.
I don't know if that's close to Binghamton, but
that's like an hour away.
Oh, so that works.
I'll be visiting him.
It's very close, like relatively speaking.
And then Jake's going to Miami, and that's like
so
Miami.
far.
Oh, that's so cool.
Good weather, at least.
I know.
I'll get the weather.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Not everybody here is so fortunate.
Totally.
I am getting freezing cold.
No.
Now, Jake, what are you majoring in?
So my major is called MADE, M-A-D-E. What it stands for is musicianship, artistry development, and entrepreneurship, which basically is like
love it.
Basically, just
it's a cute major.
It's music business, and but what I really like about Miami and why I like lean towards it is because I still get to perform a lot in that program. That's like the musicianship.
That's great.
Which is perfect for me. So I'm very excited.
And now, what about you, Dempsey?
So I am majoring in at Cornell. So Colgate has it where you can't commit for 2 years, and since I'm only going to be there for 1 year, I'm not like majoring in anything there. But Cornell has this major. It's It's like a very small program. It's called ILR. It's called Industrial and Labor Relations. So pretty much to make it very simple, it's a lot of economics and business and history and law. So studying that within within the perspective of like labor rights and that, all that fun stuff. So it's cool.
Yeah. Sounds fun.
That's why he's going to be Bill Gates.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you guys have your majors picked yet?
Computer science.
Shocker.
That would be me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guess that.
I'm undecided, but like I only applied undecided so that like I would have a better chance of getting in. Yeah. But I think I'm gonna minor in education and major in like human development or sociology.
Great.
Yeah. What I like about Bing, because I also applied to Bing, is that I feel like they have a lot of options. I think like they have so many majors. I think like if like you don't like one thing, there's definitely something there that like you're gonna enjoy and you're gonna be able to like pursue.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no, especially when you take into account, like, from a financial perspective, it's like half the price of
right.
Other schools. It's like, okay, that works.
Yeah. It's cheap and good education.
Definitely not a downside.
Yes.
Weather, not the best.
Weather, that's another story.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. But at Colgate, do you think, like, you'll be in like shows? Like, I don't know how it works at some schools.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've said this on some other podcasts, but one of the things I was really looking at with colleges was just seeing their arts program, because I'm not going to go to a school that has like no theater program, or else I'm going to find myself miserable, because you need to find stuff to do at colleges that you're really going to resonate with. And of course, like if they don't have theater, then I don't think I'm going to enjoy it as much. And I feel like the experience isn't going to be what I really wanted it to be. So I'm going to Colgate knowing that they have like a great theater program and that like big community with that.
Yeah, I think theater is so great. Like my brother did it, and it like changed his whole life. And even though he's not an actor now and he's in like law school, still he like, I don't think he would regret it at all, because it taught him like really how to be out of his shell. And he changed so much because of theater in such a positive way. I think everyone, like if I was talented, I would have done it, but I'm not. Like I'm tone deaf, so like it doesn't work.
I would argue to say that's not really true. I would argue to say that like, you know, everyone who does theater is at all different types of levels, but that doesn't mean that the experience is any lesser for any one person, I think. Because everyone that does theater, I think, can learn to enjoy it no matter what position they're in. They're in it to learn. They're in it to make friends and just have a really good high school experience. So I think we're lucky to have a theater program that doesn't really make experience really have any social standing or anything with that.
Yeah. I think it's like, I don't know, like Grace and I were talking about this the other day, how like the show Glee kind of like shows you that you can do whatever you want. Like you can be a jock, you can sing, all that kind of stuff.
That also, you know, like emphasizes the bullying and like getting slushied. Like,
no,
right.
Thinking that like it, like that show inspired a lot of people to just kind of go and chase their dreams. So like, you go to theater.
Totally, and I think that besides for the bullying, there are definitely like parallels. Like I remember we had we had our show. We got so lucky. Like we got extremely lucky. It was like literally like a week.
2 days before quarantine.
So
insane.
We had Carmel High School came down to see our show because they were doing Guys and Dolls. Like
shout out to you guys if you guys are watching.
Yes, they're awesome.
Yeah, they're
and they what happened was they came up to us after the show. They're like, "How do you guys have so many male singers and male leads?" Like they were like struggling because they didn't have any athletes coming in and doing theater too. They didn't have any kids that were like varsity sport athletes or like in film club or doing other stuff that were also coming in and doing theater. And I think that we're really lucky to have like a large
definitely
melting pot of people.
Yeah, I think it's just about the culture, like, you know, at our school. And it's like, you know, if you want to do theater, like great, like, you know,
go for it.
Props to you.
Yeah.
And I think that's because you guys.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys all played a role in that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
You guys, I'll ask you something. What was your favorite like experience of high school, whether it be a club, a group,
I mean, like, I can tell you right now, soccer. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. I mean, I think you'd ask like many soccer players and probably have similar answers. But for me, though, at least, I think just like beating Rye, like on their home turf. Like the crazy part is, I was injured at the time. I didn't even play, but even like just sitting on the bench and just like
having that spirit,
watching everybody just like playing. It's like it wasn't about me, but it was about everybody. Like what we did as a team and how we were able to work to get to that moment, and like getting the newspaper the next day and saying like Byram Hills beats Rye. Like that's definitely a good memory for me.
Totally.
So I have a question to ask. This is about soccer. So I know your last game, it didn't go to plan, right?
Yes.
So now reflecting on that months later, do you think that was a fitting end? Like, do you feel satisfied with that end?
No. So I think if you ask anyone on our team, no. Like, and the biggest thing is they always tell us at the beginning of the season, like, give every moment your all.
Yeah.
And like, it's just definitely something that will stick with me, I think, for the rest of my life, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Did I give 100% of my effort every single practice, every second? Like, and at the same time, I'm like, no, and I think I could have done better. And I think we all could have done better. But you know what? It is what it is. Yeah. And I only hope that the kids next season can surpass like the legacy that we were able to set.
I think I was a manager and like I saw all the games and you guys are like really hard on yourselves. I think they gave their 100% because every game I was at, you guys were always so like 100% dedicated. Like I would always say like I can't even imagine like working this hard.
Well, our biggest thing is just like the little things, right? So even though that we've won certain games, like let's say it was 3-0, and let's say another game we won like 3-2, and we're like, how did they score 2 goals on us?
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, it's great, like celebrate, that's great. But at the same time, though, it's like the little things, like how did that happen? Like pushing yourself, and it's just like even from the way that the process, exactly. It's like the way that we line up our bags, to the way that we come to practice reflects the way that we're going to play.
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys, like you guys, I feel like, I mean, I noticed you guys, maybe even more than any other team at our high school, there's just this like inner drive and motivation I feel like I see with the boys soccer team. Where do you feel like that's coming from?
Honestly, though, it's just the motto is like, we're standing on the shoulders of giants is like, something that we is just a saying that we always, that goes around on our team. And it just like shows that there's so many people that would literally give a limb to have one more season of Byram soccer, to be able to play, just be on the turf with their friends, with their brothers. And like, they can't. And that's just like, even if it goes to the alumni game where you have these guys that are like, that played Byram soccer like 20 years ago, coming back and like playing on the turf. And it's like, people still have the drive, and like, it's crazy how much people would do for like how much they would do and like what they would do to play one more season.
And I wish you guys were able to do cage.
Yeah, no cage. Like, what is this coronavirus? It's horrible, man.
And maybe that's why again we have that like respect at our school. It's because like that what you were saying rang so true with like theater and music too. It's like that's like a speech that we'll give. Like in our last show, we'll be like, what we would do to have one more show,
one
more production with our best friends.
Yeah, I can only imagine. It's like all that work.
Same.
Yeah,
totally.
However, I would say, this is just my perception at least. It's a show isn't defined by a score. It's not, you guys got a game like a 3-0 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And like the biggest thing for us is like you look back and you're like, look, we played okay, but we didn't get the result. And then you guys, I feel like the nice part is you can look at your like last play and you'd be like, that was phenomenal. Like that was something that you
that was so good.
Yeah.
There's definitely a different type of pressure involved, I'll say, than with sports and theater. Because again, with theater, you're really exposing yourself, I feel like, to like an entire crowd of people. While I think sports, I think it's more or less like trying to like get the most points and like really trying to like you have
it's a different focus.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys.
Sure.
Okay.
If you could choose any play that like Byron would put on that you could have been in, what play would you have wanted to like choose for yourself?
It's a good one. What would you do?
Wait. So you're asking like if we could do any show right now?
Yeah, any show. Which one would you do?
So like Byram hasn't
Anything.
done. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hasn't done.
So I really like the show called Into the Woods. They made a movie about it a few years ago.
I love that show.
Never heard of it.
What?
Okay, so
Watch
I'll give a little summary. So it's pretty much telling the stories of like 4 different fairy tales and then kind of like combining them into one giant story. And I did it my freshman year at another theater company. But like what I really wanted to do, I just wanted Mr. Lopez to announce we were doing that all 4 years, like that we were doing that show, because it's such a good show, and I think there are so many good parts in it, and it's probably one of the most fun shows I've done, and I really want to be able to do it again, so that'd probably be what I choose.
And it was a good movie. I'll make you watch the movie.
Yeah, we'll watch it.
You know what? For mine, I would just say like, I don't know if there's a specific show, but like something that people would just really get excited about. Because I think that like sometimes the shows are picked for like the learning experience.
Right.
Like those like Peter and Starcatcher, those like 12th Night Shakespeare.
Right.
Those are so that you learn how to be a better actor. But those are kind of like the drills, I almost think of it as.
Yeah.
But like when you have, I would have liked to have a show that like the whole school was like honestly, like truthfully, like very excited to see.
Like
whether it be
Grease.
like Malter, like I know you love like Frozen, like
Oh
like
yeah,
something
come
like-
on! Like I would go to a Frozen
would've
play. I would even sing. Like sign me up. I'll be Olaf. I'll be whoever you want.
even like
Frozen
Dear
would have
Evan
been
Hansen,
fun.
something like that. Like just something.
Yeah,
I don't know,
definitely. That
Yeah,
would have been
get
cool.
that. Like I thought I think that the shows like you guys did, I felt like they kept getting better and better as like the years went on. Like truly, like I've seen Guys and Dolls now with you guys and with my brother's grade, and that show was incredible, and you guys did it just as well, maybe even better.
Thank you.
And like it was a tough act to follow. It was a really good show, and you guys, like I feel like instead of being like, oh, all the like last year, like, oh, all the seniors left, what are we gonna do? Like you guys really rose up and were like, you know what, we're the seniors, we're gonna do it.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, when they left, we were all freaking out. We didn't know if we could hold the same expectations because, you know, they were always a grade above us. They had so many more people, and I felt like for a lot of us, it just felt like it was such a big hole. We didn't know how we could fill it at all. And like we've reflected a lot recently, just like kind of like how we took it in stride, and we really did the best we can. I think we did just as good of a job as they did leading, which I think is really impressive on our part.
I think that there was this like, because we were very close, we were able to talk to each other about what we liked that the older kids did and what we didn't. And I don't think that necessarily each grade had that bond.
Yeah,
so I guess here's a question for you guys. How did you feel like leadership played a role in your high school experience, whether it be somebody inspiring you or how you learned that you could inspire others?
I mean, I think we both did
mentor.
Right, mentor.
Yeah, all of us. I think just like even that, you know, being a leader, and a big part of that is confidence and being able to lead yourself and lead others and your mentees in a positive and beneficial way. And I think that was really helpful throughout my high school career.
Yeah, I think I speak for Dempsey and I when I say that our mentor experience changed my life pretty much.
Whole new perspective.
Yeah, and I feel like I could command a room no matter how many people are there, and I feel like that the girls gave me the confidence to be able to like go out into the world, because every day they would just be like, you know, you're great, right? Like, so like just saying such nice things.
Right.
Do you want to speak on your experience a little bit? Like what the type of classroom setting that you had was?
I'll let Jamie explain. Because Jamie.
Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know, Dempsey and I were mentor partners for 4 girls: Alexa, Sophia, Katie, and Rachel. And I know
we're doing the Zoom call with them, so it's okay.
We're gonna get to Zoom them, but we were their mentors, and we would see them every single morning. and they had varying like developmental disabilities.
Yeah.
And so we would work on things like vocational skills, how to like order. We did like a whole, remember that we did a whole like
I was the
fake
pizza man.
Yeah, Dempsey was the pizza man, and they had to like call and like learn how to talk to someone over the phone and place an order.
Yeah.
And
I don't know, it makes us think that like we take for granted, like we walk pizza place and like ordering a salad or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, it's not as easy for everybody else.
Yeah, and like they're way more like they are so capable of doing so many things. And I'm really glad that like I think Dempsey and I were able to get like people to see that they're like normal kids.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys feel like after having that experience, did you feel a total like perspective shift?
100%. Yeah. I mean, 100%. I mean, I already knew the girls beforehand through choir and stuff, but definitely not as well as I got to know them. And I think as I developed relationships with them, I felt like for me, it just made it a lot easier for me to form relationships with other people, to kind of leave a lot of stuff, like kind of like leaving all the judgmental stuff off the table. Because one thing the girls are really good at, and something I noticed from the start, is how little judgmental they are. They are not judgmental in the slightest. And I think I learned that because I think we all have this internal bias towards people. And I think they don't have a single ounce of that. And I think through the experience, I don't think I've totally like gotten that out, because it's so hard to get rid of that. But I think it really kind of just like lessened that to a whole huge extent. And I just feel like through the experience, I was definitely able to learn a lot through that.
Yeah.
I think it's great hearing you guys talk about it, because it's almost like you guys like eyes lit up when you talked about it. It's great to hear you
we
both.
love them. Come on.
Yeah, like they're like our kiddos.
Yeah,
like
are.
We get to Zoom them next week at 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Oh my god.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wake up
I'll
early,
still be
mister.
awake at that time.
Dempsey, you're gonna have to start Malter, this sleep thing, I gotta start getting back into
AP exams next week. I feel like I need to wake up at a normal time and like
I gotta start going to bed now, because it's gonna take me at least 5 hours before I'm gonna like fall asleep.
Yeah, except we have to finish Iron Man.
Great movie.
It's crazy how tough it is. Like I'll set an alarm for like 10:30 a.m. and I like wake up, I like can't even open my eyes.
I've missed Zooms because my teachers are like, "Hey guys, we're gonna have a Zoom today at 9:30." Right? And they'll post it at 7:30
until 12.
And they're like, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to see that until I wake up at 12 o'clock and I'll miss the Zoom. I'll be like, whatever.
Totally.
Yeah. All right. So on that,
I have a question.
All right, go for it. Yeah.
So, David Gold was on our podcast, and he was like a great guest, and we realized that he was definitely very good at doing the podcast, and he ended up starting his own.
Yeah.
And he's been interviewing people as well. I think it's great just to connect with
people.
And he asked this question that I really liked. So he was talking about this book that he read about somebody who passed away very suddenly from pancreatic cancer, and what they were talking about in the novel was basically this like question that you should ask, which is, what do you want people to know about you that they might not already know about you? What do you want your legacy to be? It's a deep question.
I don't know. For me though, my biggest thing is, I made my Bobcat for Byram Hills, right? Yep. And I'm like proud of that. At the same time though, I want to build an app that doesn't just, work for Byram Hills, but for something that anybody can benefit from.
Yeah.
Just help somebody. And I feel like that's going to be something that I want to leave behind, when you go to the app store and you search that app or whatever it is, and it's like, Malter Tech or Zach Malter, come on, that's the goal in life. But that's awesome. That's just mine.
Go for it.
Yeah. I think like what I would want people to know is that when I ask something about someone, or when I reach out to someone, it's never like fake. It's because like I genuinely care, and I just like want people to always know that like I'm never gonna like reach out to you if I don't actually care what I'm care about what I'm asking about. Because like no matter who the person is, I think that every single person's important, and I always want to know about other people's experiences because I think that it helps my own.
Yeah, that's great.
awesome.
I think I think that like a common thread that I realized throughout a lot of people's responses to that question is that like you want to create and you want to leave back something that is impactful because of how you did it and because of the principles that you followed to achieve that. Like Malter, for you, like just creating an app that means something, that have your name on it because it means something, is like that's like a great thing.
That's definitely something I'd like.
And it's gonna be used for like, it's not like when you leave high school the app leaves.
Yeah, ideally I want to leave make a lasting impact, but
right.
Yeah, we'll see how that ends up going. But some new competition is coming.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, the
Saturn, I think. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Saturn, yeah.
Saturn. Oh well. But,
I would hate that if I was you. It's like some.
It sucks, but at the same time, though, we live in a world where competition is a good thing, and if anything, competition makes a better product for the consumer.
You're gonna make a better app.
Yeah,
I'll make a better app. Yeah, but
you know what? I think that it's like everyone knows you. It's like there's a face behind my Bobcat, and it's
no face behind Saturn. I'll say that.
Yeah, there we go.
Everyone wrote bad reviews. Like it was such like a camaraderie thing.
But but I wanted to thank you guys for inviting us on this podcast, letting us speak.
Of course.
It was great.
It was so fun. Like I haven't gotten to talk to either of you in a while, and it's nice to catch up.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, all right. So we end off these podcasts by counting down and saying "Adios, Senor." So, Jake, you want to do the countdown or me?
Sure. All right, 3, 2, 1. Adios.
Adios, Senor.
Adios, Senor.